looking out there once again for you, Turk. We've got 5:30 game being Fulham versus West Ham. You've got Fulham there 5-2. You've got the draw at 5-2, and then you've got West Ham there at 11-10. So serious favourites there for West Ham. Against Fulham, I really think Fulham are in almost a false position from their performances. I did allude to this before. And I think if there is one team that's going to be able to put on a bit of a roll with sort of the untapped results from there, it's either going to go one way or another. They're going to keep on getting these results and then their heads are going to go down, or something's going to click there, because you've got a basis of a good team there with Fulham.
They've got a striker. I'm not sure if he's going to be ready for this Saturday or not, but Josh Madger's a proper player, mate.
Yeah. He's
going to give them a focal point that Mitrovic does, but their good results have come when Mitrovic hasn't been in the team this season. But Josh Madger is more of your fluid sort of striker that can hold the ball up, but can give them a focal point and flow with the game, where they have, your winger, they play that 4-3-3 and the two guys on the side, they can interchange, and it'll be a good game. It'll be a great game.
I mean, I can see Fulham maybe nicking a draw here. I think West Ham's results have been really good recently. But can you continue to keep on getting these results? And do we really think West Ham are serious Champions League contenders / European contenders? So we'll see. I mean, there's major motivation there. Former West Ham guy, Scotty Parker there in control of Fulham. I can see a draw there. Still on Saturday, we've got the 8 o'clock game. We've got Man United versus Everton, which, again, a really good game there. You've got Oli versus Ancelotti. We've got Man United there, favourites, 1-2 on. You've got the draw there at 7-2. And then you've got 5-1 there with Everton. Everton can be amazing, and then they can really disappoint you. Man United, if they're serious title contenders, they need to be winning this sort of game. What are you thinking in regards to sort of results for this one?
See, with Everton, mate, I think Alan being missing in that midfield is a massive thing for them, because when you're talking about a midfielder, Alan, Decore, and is the other fella there, they've got a powerful midfield there.
Gomez as well.
Yeah, it's mustard, mate. Honestly, they've assembled like the old Arsenal guy that's gone there. He wanted to buy, He wanted to buy Arsenal. They wouldn't let it. Osmanov's gone to Everton, and the Premier. That's why the Premier League is the best in the world. You've got clubs that like Everton. I'm not saying they're a small club anymore, but a club like Everton that have got James Rodriguez. Their team's mustard on their day, but I think. Alan being out, it's a big loss for them. They're going to pick up the results against teams they're expected to pick them up against, and I think I say a Man United home win, if that's the question, mate.
I think you've got Calvert-Lewin there. Calvert-Lewin is really, really impressive. You go and put that Calvert-Lewin.
He hasn't really scored recently, has he?
No, but his all-round gameplay, his physicality, his athleticism. You go and put Calvert-Lewin as a focal point of Man United, and I think that in itself is really, really impressive.
He did score last week.
You got Tottenham here at 4-9. You got the draw there 11-3, and then you got West Brom there at 13-2. Tough game, because I can imagine. I don't think Mourinho is going to flake or shake or change any of his emphasis on sort of parking and being a rigid team against West Brom.
No, but Glenn, see, I was distraught, mate. I watched that first half yesterday, and I thought, what is going on, mate? This can't be it, mate. We knew that we're accepting a certain style of football with Jose coming in. It's meant to be winning football, and he still might go and win a couple of trophies, or might win a trophy, or it might go completely wrong, and he might not win nothing. And it's either going to be a masterstroke by Daniel Levy, or a lot of people are going to be pointing the finger at him. Daniel Levy's brought Jose Mourinho in, that he's wanted to get into Tottenham Hotspur for the last 10 to 12 years. He's brought Gareth Bale back, which is, again, evidently a Daniel Levy move, not a Jose Mourinho move. and it's all to be seen what happens.
It's really crunch time now, isn't it? It's crunch time. It's either going to go one way or the other from this stage. It's either going to continue to deteriorate, and we're going to end up with an early.
No, but saying that, mate. Second half, mate. Second half the game was different, mate, and I just don't understand why they didn't start the game in that manner. And we're talking about on group chats and stuff like that. That in that first half. Okay, fine. It was a penalty. That's what separated the two teams, and it was a silly penalty to give away with what Dyer done. And it's an individual mistake. And if you see the goals that Tottenham have conceded this season, I think a high number of them, like 80% of them, are individual mistakes, which a manager will just say it's not nothing to do. And a manager like Jose will definitely say it's got nothing to do with me. The players are making the mistakes. But the problem is when you give away so much position, playing that low block style, and you're inviting so much pressure onto yourself, players are more likely to make mistakes because the further back you are and you make those mistakes, it's going to lead to a goal, one way or the other.
I think Dyer has been impressive to a point, but you watch him and every game there is a mistake.
One mistake, one goal.
One mistake. Whether it gets punished every single time, majority of the times this season it has been. But he has to cut those mistakes out. Every single game there is one mistake, and it seems like they're being punished. It should be a Tottenham win. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a draw.
I see a home win. I think he's going to be into them. He's going to be into those players, mate. He's going to put it all onto them.
You've got the 4:30 game, which is the big game of the day, probably the big game of the weekend, and a real crunch game there. You've got Liverpool versus Man City. You've got Liverpool there at 5-2. You've got the draw there at 5-2, and then you've got Man City there at 11-10. If there is ever a game to get incentivised to really of a good few games, or maybe even last season, this would be the one, because I think they're 8 points adrift currently. You've got Man City there firing on all cylinders, but you look at their team sheet, and it's not the same Man City that you've seen from years ago. You've not got Aguero firing on all cylinders. You've not got David Silva behind. You've not got Yaya Toure that strike fear into the hearts. But you've got a different style.
You haven't got Laporte, mate. You haven't got Laporte in that team.
No, but what you do have is the move. You've got that new centre-back pairing.
But I think that boy there, Diaz, has come in and he's changed the season for Manchester City. That guy Diaz has come in and done what Van Dijk done for Liverpool. And really, in my eyes, I thought Laporte's just as good. And I thought the two at the back was Laporte and Diaz. But John Stones has found a new lease of life. And he looks incredible. But, when you've got that sort of resource, you can have 3 Van Dijks in your team with a Diaz, Stones, and a Laporte.
I'll always remember. I'll always remember when Stones was linked to Arsenal, and if you see, because when he was sort of out of the team and whatnot, if you see the Arsenal fans' reactions to being linked to Stones at that time, it was absolutely amazing. They were. It was like you'd spat at their mother by telling them they're linked with John Stones on loan, and now to look at him taking the sort of incentive and cracking on and scoring goals and being a proper player, he's really turned that around. So, what's your thoughts overall, mate, on this game? Do you think they're going to sort of come out all guns blazing Liverpool? Or
I think just very quickly, I think there's also another very key player in Man City this year, and that's that Gundogan. I think he's always been a good player, but this year he's taken it upon himself not only to get into the final third, scoring goals, he's setting things up. Man City aren't relying on an Aguero anymore. They're scoring goals all over. I think Man City are going to win this. I don't think, it's going to be a tough game, but I think it's going to be 2-3-1 to Man City.
sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or call your operator to help you.